So after sandblasting these two outdrives down to the bare aluminum and cleaning out all the pitting from the corrosion, I wanted to decide on how might I repair those pits. What can I do? Do I just fill them with some Bondo? Do I just paint over them? Is there anything I should do or could do to sort of restore the integrity of the unit, especially where it was badly corroded and damaged? I mean, there's just nothing you could do. Well, I thought I'd give it a try to fill some of the pitting with an epoxy or a resin or some product that I could come up with. I've got some marine text, you could try that. I've used JB Weld on a number of projects, never been dissatisfied with the results of that. And this is JB Quick. JB Weld, that seems like a good choice, but that takes like a 24-hour period to cure before you can start sanding it and stuff. JB Quick sets up in 4 minutes, and it's ready for sanding and tooling in less than an hour. This has a little bit different properties than this JB Weld. It doesn't have the same tensile strength, and it's only spec'd out for a temperature range to 300 degrees, where this is 500 degrees. But if I compare the other specs of JB Weld and JB Quick, they're all very similar. So I decided to get this JB Quick. It's inexpensive. I bought these large tubes at the local auto parts place. Of course, this doesn't provide me complete technical detail, but if I want to compare JB Quick to JB Weld, I can take a look at some of the properties here. I can see that they both have the same adhesion, flex strength, lap shear, shrinkage. The difference here is 300 degrees and 500 degrees, and tensile strength, 2100 psi and 3960 psi. Strong enough and good enough for my purposes is what I determined. And it says, although it says steel on the little tube there, it bonds to virtually any combination of iron, steel, copper, aluminum, brass, bronze, pewter, porcelain, ceramic, marble, glass, blah 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 blah. So fully cures in 4 hours, waterproof, petroleum chemical, acid resistant, resists shock, vibration, extreme temperature fluctuations, withstands temperatures up to 300 degrees. Super strong, non-toxic. Okay, so that's why I went with the JB Quick versus JB Weld. Just a time factor. More practical, I think, for this application. So one thing I would, if you have an opportunity and if you can do it, is to get yourself one of these boards right here with this sort of wax paper. You get that at your auto body paint supply place. These are excellent. When you're mixing up stuff and you want to keep on working, you don't have to wait for your little piece of cardboard or your coffee can lid or whatever to dry out so you can flex it and clean it up, whatever. In a case like this, you mix up your amount, you spread the stuff as you're working, and then when you're ready to keep on working, you just peel off a sheet, you set that aside, and while that's curing, you get another one. Buy these by the box, by the way, get a whole box of these, and then you can mix up some more and you can go back to work, and when we're done with that one, you peel that off and you get another one. So with a box of spreaders, I went through like 3 spreaders. By the time I finished the 3rd application, the first spreader was cured, then I could tool off the leftover resin, and I'm back to the first spreader again. That just keeps things moving along. It's totally convenient. Also, before I started getting ready to fix those pits and stuff, I gave the whole unit a good sanding, and also sanding off the resin after it's cured. If you're using a DA sander, buy a big fat roll of whatever peel and stick that you're going to use. This is great. I bought this like 4 years ago, and it makes such a difference. Instead of trying to see how many hours you can continue to sand with the same piece of sandpaper. When the sandpaper's not working for you anymore, go to another piece and keep the job moving along. It's just much more doable. Now this stuff, when you put it on here, it doesn't sand easy. It doesn't sand easy. It kind of clogs the paper, similar to what Bondo might do or something like that. But man, it seemed to make such a great repair. The first repair I made was right around this area where this really deep pitting around this lower gear case housing right here. It just looked like it was ruined, or just looked like it wasn't going to be a case that you would want hang on the back of your boat. But after filling these holes, and this is the first repair I did with that epoxy, and then sanding it off, man, the repair is just great. It's as hard as steel, and I'm sure if I took the time, and I just spread that on there, forcing it down into the deepest pits, then sanded it off with my orbital sander. Boy, I tell you, That looks like a great repair, and I'm really satisfied with the results of that. I'm sure if I had the inclination, I took the time to do it, I could put several applications and sanding in between. I could fare that off perfectly smooth, and no one would ever be able to tell that there was a pit or a damage to that unit at all. Even here on this skeg, I smeared a layer on there and I sanded it off, and I did actually a second application, and you know, it doesn't look pretty now, but it's smooth again. And I think that will last for the life of the time that I own the boat. I won't allow the corrosion to proceed. So I think that's an excellent way to repair that pitting and get it all prepped and ready for paint. Was able to get all this pitting filled in flush and repaired. I was very happy with the way that repair turned out. So I decided that was going to be the process I used to get this unit ready for paint.